Okay. Just letting everything connect up here. Making sure that we are where we need to be. And
I'll pull it up.
I believe it is letting everything. Good. Okay. Awesome.
Oh,
okay. So here we go. So here we are, Amalia and Madelaine coming to you a little bit early this moon cycle due to travel issues on my end, and then Madelaine traveling. So both of us traveling has created some snafus to making sure that we had this one in before the actual moon, full moon on January 6th, 2023. It is in Cancer.
Yeah.
And
I've got the time this time. I actually have the time. Well, on PST, Pacific Standard Time, it will happen at about 3:30 p.m.
Awesome. So 6:30 p.m. Eastern, for those who don't know the translation. Sometimes I have to think about it too. And what Madelaine and I were talking right before we went live in that, Madelaine was saying she feels very comfortable in the Cancer energy. So talking about this for her feels really good. What is so interesting for me is that I have a Cancer South node, which is overdeveloped characteristics or things that are, that you're leaving behind. It's time to step into something new. So
what degree is your south node? What is it going to hit on this eclipse? Because I mean, this full moon is happening at 16 degrees. 16.
No, I believe I'm 7 degrees. So within a 10-degree orb, but yeah. So what's interesting is that, we have that we just talked about the Capricorn new moon, and Capricorn in terms of career and your status and, your outward engagement with the world, like your public life. And then Cancer is the opposite, very much nurturing, very much home, domestic life. And it's this, even a little bit of like the inward journey, that private life of you. You think of the crab as like this hard shell and a really soft, mushy center. And that's, we're going to be dancing between these two worlds with this full moon, balancing the work-life balance, how you navigate the time that you spend at home, the time that you spend at work, finding that balance. And kind of just the little bit of research that I did, and I can't wait to hear what you have to say about this, Madelaine, is I was kind of feeling this sense of during this full moon, there'll be something that's illuminated, something that's brought to light about how you might be out of balance. And there might be things that you've been putting off. And I think because this is the full moon, the first full moon right after the new year, it will likely be highlighted for you pretty quickly. You'll likely see, oh, that one area that I was pushing to later, now it's in my face. Or that one little niggly thing that's like a pattern that I continuously do is showing up for me again. So just as we, go into that the full moon period in January, be aware of those things. And maybe even around the new year, take a look, just do a quick little check in with yourself. Doesn't take a whole lot of time. So Madelaine, what are your thoughts on that? I kind of set it up. So dive in deep.
Okay, so let's go ahead and share the screen.
Okay. I don't know if I co-hosted you.
Yeah, because I want to make something very clear about Cancer, the energy of Cancer, which is, in my opinion, the most important energy of all the 12 signs. And I'm going to explain why. I know I'm a little biased. Yep. I'm a biased because
big statement.
It is. I'm going to prove it. I'm a little biased at being that I am a Cancer rising, but I'll explain why it is the most important in the astrological energies, because Capricorn is the MC, which is where we're headed. So we have the 4 angles, the 4 directions in astrology. So the MC is winter, where we're headed. It's the new start, the new year is when the sun hits that MC point at noon at the chart, at the top of that zodiac chart. And at the very bottom of that chart is Cancer. It's the opposite, like what you were saying. Now, if you look at the screen, when I do card readings and because tarot card readings will help me interpret the chart. And I notice over and over since I've been doing this, that the cards tend to push me towards the emotional center of a person, which is your Cancer, because your emotional state is what you materialize. Yes, your head thinking is uber important. And we talked all about that in the last couple of videos about how you got to believe in what you're trying to materialize. You got to get rid of that negative brain processing is what created our karma. But now where are we going? We're going to the bottom of the chart. Bottom. The bottom of the chart supports the entire rest of the chart. You have a stable fourth house. The rest of your chart is good. And that's what tarot does. Tarot always wants to pull you into where you're dropping your frequency. And believe it or not, it's always in the heart space of my reads most of the time. People are secretly, they don't even know it. When I do reads for people, they don't even know that something's dropping their vibrations emotionally. They're just trying to mentally get over it and not think about it and run away from it a lot of times. Okay. So the tarot card will say, turn back into what's dropping that emotional issue is dropping your frequency and causing instability in the rest of your life. So
interesting. That's a very,
did I prove my point?
To me, I don't know about to everyone else, because there are people who really truly believe the mind rules all. And so they might not buy that. But I totally do. I get what you're saying. I mean, and if you think about even a house, the structure of a house, the foundation needs to be strong. And so if your emotional foundation is wobbly, then how will the rest of the chart support? Yeah.
Here's the other thing. If you build, Capricorn is the foundation. We had that full new moon building a new foundation. It cannot be built on sand. Right. It will not last. That's why Cancer is the opposite. It has to be built on true love. It has to be built on love. If you want your career, anything that you structure with the energy of Capricorn, create a structure. If it is based on Cancer, which is your heart, your true emotional fulfillment, it feeds you emotionally. It's what you love. It's the relationship you love. It's the work you love. It's the projects you love. It's the house you love. It's the home. If you go from heart space on everything, you've created a very powerful foundation, because that reignites. So when you base when you pay attention to the needs of the fourth house, then and your fourth house placement and your planets transiting that fourth house, when you take those transits seriously, you discover that is the fulfillment, the root grounding for your whole entire life. And family, love, relationships, this is what Cancer is all about: nurturing, mothering, home. You have a good home, you have a happy home, you have a happy family, you have a cozy situation, you love your home. That's what this full moon in Cancer is going to reveal. How do I make this? Is a stepping up of a family. Now we're filling in the foundation that we started with that. And by the way, this is most likely relationships, everything from the past coming back, because we have Mercury in retrograde. And we have Mars in retrograde. So we are going back and fixing something, redoing something, and relationships coming in back from the past. Mars, depending on where Mars is in your chart, we'll talk about that. But like we're rehashing something. We have Mercury is conjoining. Let me share again. Let me share here. We've got Mercury. So we've got the Sun and Mercury in conjunction. Mercury in retrograde with the Sun, Mercury Kazemi. Mercury is going in for purification with the Sun. That's what happens when the planets meet the Sun every year. Mercury maybe a couple times. They meet the Sun and they go Kazemi, they go combust, and then they meet with the Sun, who is God, theoretically. It's the most life-giving force planet in the solar system, and worshipped by the ancients. So that is when a planet meets the Sun in Kazemi, they have a conversation. They go, what's the plan? What are you going to do next year? What do you need to fix? What was this project from the past that got dropped, or something that didn't work out from the past? You're egotistically not in the right place for it, which means you may have had some sort of neediness around it, which pushes it away. But somehow you were what's the word? Like wanting it too much, something.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
They're kind of obsessed with something. Just
yes.
So,
and you think you have to have it or you're dead, and if you're not, you're dead, it's like your salvation. But the universe said, no, that's not the right energy to go forward with this divine mission, which is what we're really leading up towards for everybody, because we're preparing for the March and May and April, March, April, May, and June. We've got the nodes shifting. We've got major shiftings with Saturn changing into Pisces, Jupiter going to go into Taurus. the nodes are going to shift into Aries. I mean, this is going to be a whole different energy. We're really getting over, like you said, you mentioned that earlier, we're getting over a hump, but we're making sure that we talk something out with somebody. And that's going to go through the houses. We're going to go through the houses and we're going to go see. We're making sure that we correct miscommunications, misunderstandings that have blocked situations that are supposed to go forward because of emotional instabilities or emotional, because that what I'm telling you, the wheel was not founded, was not on emotional strength, was not based on our emotional power, which is that this is emotionally in alignment for me. But if it was emotionally in alignment for you, emotionally, you weren't ready, you weren't stable enough for it. And I know I wasn't for certain things that were trying to happen. I've learned some major things in the meantime. So the full moon is going to bring, this full moon in Cancer is going to bring something that happened in June with the new moon in Cancer on the solstice. So these are very related, very related. These are the cardinal points of the zodiac, and these are the cardinal planets. So this indicates seasonal changes and shifts in your life, in everybody's lives, that especially if you're impacted by these planets. And I am, this is all happening exact on my Mercury in my 7th house. It's happening at 16 degrees, my Mercury, 17 degrees Capricorn. So there's going to be information coming in. Now it could trigger you because we have moon squaring Chiron. So what, like you did mention this, and this was really spot on, Amalia, I'm impressed with your advancements. Not that, you know, not to sound like I know so much more, but I'm just saying.
You do know. I mean, that's astrology and tarot are your wheelhouse, and I'm just kind of visiting periodically. Well, so that's
smart.
Yeah.
I think it's smart for everyone to understand. You can understand, people can grab a lot from astrology without it being that difficult to, you know, and have it work for you, you know.
Yep.
So without having to study a course or anything. But anyway, not that you're not doing that.
I know what you're saying. Don't worry about it.
Yeah. Anyway, bottom line is, bottom line is we are going to get some kind of a trigger, emotional. We're going to make sure Chiron is there. You could get sick, by the way, because I have my Mars. Chiron is squaring my Mars right now. And oh my gosh, do headaches. As soon as I get so when the moon, let's say you've got Chiron squaring your Mars in your chart right now, like I do. And most of the time it's okay, as long as I don't eat sugar and I don't do the things in my diet that really trigger my headaches. So when that moon comes along into a placement, so like it went onto my Mars, squaring Chiron. I wanted to eat that sugar. I wanted to break so bad because I saw that coming up and I thought, oh, I'm going to be really careful because I don't want to get a headache. But what I didn't realize is, like, I was going to go out that night with some friends and I was really going to want a little glass of bubbly, but I knew that was going to give me a headache. And it was like, I realized that transit was challenging and brought me headaches, not because of the transit, but because that transit somehow makes it harder for me to stay on my diet that stops me from getting headaches. It's confusing.
Yeah.
So anyway,
makes sense.
Yeah. So I'm really interested in the Chiron thing and I'm seeing people getting sick with these Chiron transits. So we have the moon, which is emotional issues and your health. Oftentimes in Vedic, they put your chart to your moon to look at your health. So the moon can really represent your health. So this full moon will reveal things that you have not self-nurtured. You have not done good enough self-nurturing to yourself. You haven't taken care of yourself in the right way. You haven't, where do you need to learn about loving yourself? Because most of the reasons we weren't karmically ready for some of these projects was because we had low self-esteem or emotional insecurities. But these things can trigger mental processing that's negative or triggering your storytelling. It's emotional and it can stimulate sickness. So whenever Chiron is there, it's triggering your emotional issues, hoping that you see them and then you become aware of them and you become aware of how to, that this no longer is serving you to carry these lower density woundings that need the light to come in and heal. And you can heal it consciously, but when you become aware of the wounding, you heal it almost just by becoming conscious of what that wounding is, the insecurities, the abandonment issues. So be wary that this full moon brings with it a revelation of something that you're doing from an emotional level that can trigger illness, headaches, because oftentimes that moon squaring Chiron is triggering your need for self-soothing. And so what are you doing to self-soothe? What are you doing to calm yourself? What are you doing to master your emotional world at the bottom of the chart that makes the rest of your life okay, right? So you're going to be, it's going to reveal to you unhealthy habits, unhealthy thought patterns that are going against self-love and self-nurturing and self-care, that throw you into out of alignment action that harms you or isn't good for you. Like me eating sugar because I'm feeling nervous about something. Like I want that security of eating. Cancer is the center body. It's the abdominal area, the womb, the mother. And it is very sensitive to food. It's very food sensitive energy.
Would that be the same for, even though Pisces is a different place in the body?
Yeah.
Elementally speaking, it's water. So would you say that's the same too if somebody has a Pisces ascendant?
My experience is Cancer rising are the most sensitive to emotional connected illness. They're just the most emotional people.
Right.
But Pisces are emotional, but they're somehow much more rigorous because they have Scorpio over their 12th house. So I have to think about that with Pisces. I don't think Pisces are sensitive. My mother's Pisces and she's like incredibly tough, her body. But also has a lot to do with your Mars as well. And plus also where your nose is. I have my nose in the first house. When you have your node in the first house, you're super sensitive to medication. Like I can only take one Tylenol if they say two. I always take one. So your body is sensitive with the nodes in the first house. So there's a lot of factors in a chart that determine that. But on the whole, Cancer is emotionally food sensitive. They tend to have eating disorders. So, so that is the Chiron aspect. Okay. But now if you look at the rest of the chart, it looks fantastic. So I wanted to get the sort of challenging part out of the way, but look what's so fantastic. We've got this, the moon is sextiling Uranus, which is also trining this Mercury and the sun conjoining. So some really good news, some coming in, good conversation. And then we've got Pluto and Venus sextiling Jupiter and Juno. So we're going to be looking at relationships, your true divine relationships. These are really happening because we've all really cleared karma. So we've really cleared karmic relationships, and they can be work relationships, they can be family karmic relationships, but we're really clearing our karma that we've created in our relationship dynamics through communication, as I said in the other, that full moon in Mars. Now we've got this ease, this flow, this surprising clearing, because whenever you get sextiles and triangles, things are flowing better, things are opening up. The moon is opposing Mercury. So just remember, an emotional outburst, a triggering I'm probably going to get triggered somehow because it's on my Mercury. But the beautiful thing is about this is with these trines that I've noticed when I've been triggered and I see trines and sextiles in my chart, you get over it really fast. You pull out of it. You get your mind back in alignment. You pull yourself back in. You've mastered this. And by the way, Chiron is now going direct. It's been in retrograde. It's going, and it's been on you. You've had your Chiron return all year, I think. So anyway, when this happens, you really do learn, you've really mastered something about your wounding. Like you really pull yourself out of that thinking that causes you pain around it. And you just, you know what, I'm not going to process it this way anymore. I'm going to process it another way. I'm going to just process it this way instead. That's more positive. Like you pull out of it with these trines and sextiles, and they're really fabulous. So we've got like Pluto sextiling Juno. Juno can be divine husband, divine mate. Pluto sextiling, that's twin flame, true love, depth, deep soul connections. It's in the sign of Capricorn. Juno is in the sign of Pisces right now. So we've got this beautiful relationships, divine energy, soul, past life type energies. Moon sextiling Uranus is sun surprising events that emotionally that's exciting, that set you free. Good news sets you free, emotional outburst. But sextiling is flow. It's like things open up, communications. It's you speak the truth. You tell everybody how you really feel, and it comes out with this flow. Now the sun opposing moon, it might get triggered by an argument. It might be like, well, you said that to me, and so I just figured, we're not friends anymore. And you go, I only said that to you because you hurt my feelings, and it sounded like you didn't want to be my friend, or la la la. So you get this outburst, and you know what, I did want to, and then la 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 la. And so then there's this fixing of that situation because the sun is conjoining Mercury, the ego The sun always represents the ego. It can be shadow or positive. With that Mercury conjoining it, and Mars, don't forget, is kind of out of bounds during this thing, because Mars is not having any kind of an aspect, but Mars is in its Mercury sign. So it's like kind of like Mercury's doing all the talking and figuring everything out, and Mars is not doing anything too crazy and nutty. Like our masculine energy is sort of waiting to see how everything pans out here and where to take action,
Which is great, because we
Yes.
would not need what's happening and then this like sense of having to jump in and do something immediately.
Yes, this is
from
the
an
chariot.
emotional place.
Yes, and this is the Chariot card, which represents Cancer in astrology. And the Chariot card, if you look at it, it's got see if I can find it. It has the two here, right? The Chariot. So it's got the yin and the yang.
Yeah.
And if you look at the Chariot, he's not moving. He's stopped and he's checking in with the yin before he goes forward with the yang. So you always want to check in with yin and go forward with yang. When the actions seem following the yin message, the intuitive knowing, the guidance, following your inspired intuitive knowledge. Cancer is all about that, your intuition. Then you take aligned action once you connect with what your intuitive guidance brings you. You can do it through tarot, through meditation, through walks in nature, through hermiting, hermiting in the Virgo card, being alone on a rock. I like to ground on a rock. I like sitting on big rocks. I get very grounded. So, and now the fact that it's happening at 1616, because all the eclipses in 2023 are happening around that degree point, a lot of lunations are, that is the degree, because at 15 is the halfway point of the zodiac, because we go into 30, a month is 30 days. So it's around 15 is around halfway through. So 15 degrees is not quite mastering. You're struggling still, not completely gotten a handle on something, and it's still challenging, but you're kind of getting it, you're kind of seeing it, but you're kind of not doing it. And then you get to 16 degrees, you're like, okay, I kind of get it now. I kind of get it now. I get it.
Yeah.
So we're in that phase of something that we're manifesting here. So it's like, okay, and that's how I feel too right now. Like that's certain things, like, okay, I get it now. Like what triggers me, what my processing is, I kind of get it now. So we're looking at an ease of communication, breaking through of things and stabilizing things emotionally so that we can create a really stable situation that's based on love, not sand, which is karma, which is illusionary things that seem like they're the right thing, but it's not based on the truth, the heart, which is what that wheel is based on. That wheel in astrology, it's based on Cancer, the fourth house, the heart, your family, your home, how stable and how are things at home? How are things with you? You're a home too. Your body is Cancer. Your home, are you okay? Is your home okay? Is your relationships, nurturing and caring and empathic? So I think that kind of sums up that energy.
Yeah. And I feel like you beautifully brought it back around to where we started talking about Cancer and that being the foundation and building from there.
Yeah.
So I think that was a great summary of not just the moon energy, but all of the energies in the cosmos that are affecting the moon.
Yes.
So that's important to talk about too.
Cancer is ruled. It's a nice full moon because Cancer rules the moon. So it's in its domicile and it's happy in that spot. So but it is emotional. People might cry, but in a nice, it's a good thing, a crying that opens things up. So we're looking at emotional outbursts that need to be relieved, that need to be out.
Yes.
So that you can create a better foundation.
Right.
I know I did a reading on my son yesterday, and he has something coming in. A lot of people have projects coming in from the past. It was a very disappointment. It was something he was excited about, and it fell through. And now and he was very kind of upset about it. And it felt bad. And now the card read said they're coming back and they're going to explain why it didn't work out. And you're going to realize it wasn't personal. So there he is. You see, he processed it personally. And now he's not. And now he's gotten over that way of processing. So anyway,
nice.
All right.
That's so great that you're able to support him in that way.
Oh yeah. I love doing that for my kids because I know it's the secret to their abundance, this stuff.
Oh yeah, completely. All right. So let's jump into Aries.
Yeah. Let's talk about Aries. So Aries, you guys are going to have, your cardinals. So all the cardinal signs, this is challenging for cardinals because any cardinal lunation is going to square your cardinal. So obviously, if it's a direct impact on the degrees, it's more, but your houses are going to be squared. So usually that indicates a square is a forced change. So this moon in Cancer in your fourth house is most likely you're going to move, or your family situation is changing. You're going to let go of a family that isn't healthy for you. You're now emotionally clear on the family that is right for you. You might just have an emotional outburst. Your family may just have a big emotional outburst, and then you all rebond. You've been distant and now you rebond. You communicate about things in your family that have been under the current that are upsetting you. There could be divorces in this energy where you leave because emotionally, this is not emotionally fulfilling home and environment for you. So you know that this is not the right family to sustain your whole life around. So Chiron in Aries is in your first house. So you're becoming healed because you're becoming a much more empowered being, and you're really healed from, shall we say, neediness around dependency on a family that isn't. In other words, you would have been dependent on a family situation that was more karmic, just to create that feeling of family. So now you're like, okay, what did I do that with? That wasn't real. And who are my real family? What is my family? And then where do I want to live? Like, because we're really settling down, because these next energies are going to be, we're starting these new things. So Aries may really be changing at their living situation and settling, or changing family situation. And with that Chiron squaring your Aries, a situation may come up. You may discover that where you're living is making you sick. It has toxic stuff going on in it. Or you may discover that where you're living, there's too much toxic noise and it's making you not sleep at night and you get sick. So stuff like that.
So can you remind me where you said this is the fourth house?
Yep, for Aries.
Okay.
Cancer, full moon. Full moons bring things to a culmination. So you might now suddenly become very clear on where you do want to live. Where is that situation? Also, it will materialize. Like maybe perhaps a place for you to live just appears. The full moon, you talked about it, you thought about it in June or May, and it didn't work out. And now suddenly there's a place to live. You've got this place shows up. Full moons can bring things, into your life.
Well, they're shining a light. The moon is shining a light on
it may have been there all this time, but now it's ready.
Yeah. And you see it.
Yeah. Okay, let's quickly pull one card for Aries. I like doing the card thing. I find it really pulls the whole message together. Hermit card. Isn't that interesting? So yeah, you've got Pisces in your 12th house with Jupiter just leaving that Pisces. So yeah, the energy of the Cancer is intuitive. It is connect with your intuitive knowing.
Yeah. And that may require you to be alone a little bit.
Yeah.
To do
that. And also Aries may have been lonely, because when I get the Hermit card first thing, it usually represents loneliness. So you might have been in a family. So now you really want more family, so you're not lonely. Something like that. You see the importance of having more family. Yeah.
Yeah. Nice. I like that interpretation. Okay. Taurus. You have Mars in your second house. Aries is your 12th house, and Cancer is your third house. So that, and don't forget, we've got the Sun and Mercury conjoining. So if I forget to bring that up in one of the houses, just everybody fill that in, because there is communication about something from the issues coming up from the past that have been very upsetting, that were emotional, that were not spoken about. Third house is all about communication. Mm-hmm. Mars is in the sign of Gemini, which is a communication. So Taurans are really going to communicate possibly with siblings, neighbors, resolving problems with neighbors, siblings, work relationships, people that are around you on a day-to-day basis. Also, you're looking at short distance traveling. Maybe a new business opportunity appears, because that's the third house. That is emotionally really what you want. That's emotionally really great for you. And it does require short distance travel, maybe. Busyness. This is busy energy, the third house. So new moon, something's coming up that makes you busy. You may have to send a lot of emails, because third house is also the internet, the email communication.
You could suddenly decide to start a website. But all of this, remember, is with a Cancer flare, which is coming from the intuitive knowing that you love and it's inspired and you feel it. You feel this, you feel it. It's intuitive.
Yeah.
You're following your inner yin, which I try to teach all my students in my workshops. That's how
Follow
you
the
know.
inner yin.
Yeah, follow your inner yin. She's connected to the higher self. She knows she knows the right way. She knows what you need. She knows how to take care of you. She knows who's right for you, all that.
Oh, I love
So,
that, Madelaine.
yeah.
That's great. So
Oh,
a little plug for
Yeah.
Madelaine for her classes
My
and
course.
her courses. Yeah. So pop on over and check it out.
Yep. We are starting after the new year.
So is there anything else you wanted to say? Shu, is this with this Taurus
yeah,
moon? Is
Aries.
it also
They have
Go ahead.
Aries in the 12th, right? So you have the sun. Don't forget, we got the sun and the moon. Sun and Mercury in your 9th house. So a shift in belief, revelation. Thank you for bringing that up. I forgot about the Capricorn house. Revelations of ideas, a shift in belief, more heart-centered. You realize you haven't been heart-centered. You haven't been communicating from the heart. This is more communication from the heart. Taurus, let's pull a card, and then you might shift your belief system. Like you may have gotten in an argument with someone, because Cancer is 3rd house with the argument and with a sibling, and then you now believe that you have a new belief system. And because a lot of polarizing happened the last couple of years, so maybe people are starting to make up from some of their strained relationships from, conflicting ideas. But there is a belief shift with Venus, with Mercury and the sun in your 9th house. You also may come up with ideas for traveling and things you want to do, but mostly you are cracking open a mental block around communication, your beliefs, and realizing you're not heart-based enough around some kind of form of communication or understanding or empathic, because Cancer is empathic. So Taurans are going to become more empathic in their communication.
Cool.
Card for Taurus. So funny, I get the Taurus card, the Hierophant, which represents
nice.
and then I get the Death card. So we get a transformation of the way that they communicate, a total transformation, an awakening around what they believe. Because when you get lunations in the 9th house, it's some form of an awakening. You realize something out of balance, because it's sun moon opposing. So It's like something's out of balance. I find with a full moon, you become really aware of something you're doing that's too polarized on the other side.
Yeah.
So their thinking has been too polarized and too because the 9th house can be rigid thinkers. A lot of people with planets in the 9th house are very rigid thinking. And so you're going to relax your rigid thinking around something. All right.
Which can make relationships easier in a lot of ways.
Oh, it will heal whatever rift you've had, for sure.
Yeah.
And the Chiron with that, don't forget we got that Chiron. There is some sort of an emotional breakthrough occurring that is now healed, which was the purpose behind that problem or the issue.
All of the pieces fit together.
Yeah, they do. They do. So magic.
Right.
Okay. So Gemini, you guys have Capricorn in your 8th house. So interesting. A Cancer in your 2nd house, finances, money, 8th house, other people's money, other people's resources, debt, or a nice, because we got so many nice trines and sextiles, you might suddenly qualify for a financial support. Wait, what am I saying? Capricorn 8th house. Yeah, some kind of outside money, or you could clear off a debt, or a way to clear off a debt, a way to earn money, a new way to earn money, and a full moon in your 2nd house. That's when I started tarot card reading. It's when I started doing this. I became financially independent through that. So it's like you can become financially independent through something new that is in your heart. By the way, if you have Cancer over your 2nd house, you have Cancer over your 2nd heart. If you have Cancer over your 2nd house, that means you're going to be more successful the more it's in your heart, because Gemini's head, mind, they get the headspace and they go headspace, heart. You link the two. Wow, you go far. Cancer have Leo over their heart space, over their 2nd house, which means the more fun they have, the more jokey they are, the more playful they are, the more successful they are, like the more they create abundance for themselves. So Cancer over your second house, a new way of earning money that is very auspicious, that is really aligned with your soul and your heart and what you truly desire in life. It's warm, it's love, you love it, love it.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, and you've got that 8th house with that stuff. So it's either going to alleviate a debt, or you're going to qualify for a debt, but it's going to help you, or because your second house is your own resources. So this is your own resources, something you have. Maybe it's property you own and you start planting in it. Taurus is all about gardening and planting, the second house. So somehow something you possess, you then create abundance from. And it's possible that it eliminates a debt, or that you can get funding to help you do this. You see that it's abundant. You see that it can make money. So you get support, financial venture, something like that. But this 8th house, now also we want to remember that a full moon in the 8th house can take away a death and rebirth experience. You have the sun and Mercury there, but also a sexual relationship from the past, a deep connected sexual relationship. Mars is in your sign. So you could have a soul generated sexual relationship. That is, the 8th house is a relationship house as well. So let's pull a card for Gemini in this Cancer full moon.
Yeah, let's see.
Yeah, and then the Aries trigger. So you've got Chiron and Aries. You might be letting go of friendship groups that aren't supportive of you, that aren't loving, that aren't kind. Ooh, I get the Sun card, and there it is. Look at that. That new financial beginning in your second house. Sun liberates you, liberates you. You know what, you guys, I'm keeping forgetting to talk about the fact that the sun is trining Uranus during this. This is liberation. These are the energies of liberation. You see, that's why I like to pull cards, because I drop stuff in these reads. I'm like forgetting that aspect of it. So that Uranus sun trine, we're all liberated, we're free, we get to break out of some restricted situation that's been a pain in our booties. But that Uranus, the sun trining Uranus is awesome. Sorry, I forgot to mention that.
That is awesome.
Yep. And there's sextiles and trines going on, which are opening doors. So anything that gets blocked by that Chiron, Mars is sextiling Chiron. So Mars is going to, actually, it's not at this point, but it has been before that. But we are going to get ways through anything that looks difficult or painful. There's going to be a way through it. And it's really true, because I've been studying my chart very closely. And whenever I see squares, I'm like, I'm just like, oh my God. And then I don't focus on the trines and the sextiles that are happening. And I get myself into a situation, but wow, there's a magical way out of it, because the trine and the sextile happen. It's just like crazy. So it's fabulous. So, but that Uranus trine is going to help everybody out through liberating somehow out of something.
You make a good point about how we tend to focus on what is going wrong so that we can solve it. And that really, if we look at the rest of what's happening in our lives, whether we know our chart or not, okay, well, this is working and this is working and this is working. These aren't working, but these are working. And so how can I just keep moving forward, in my life in whatever way that means for you? And I guess, in other words, you don't even need to necessarily know your astrology and know that there are trines going on, but just know that if you're in a situation that feels a little challenging, take a look around. It's kind of like going into gratitude, see what's actually going right.
Yes.
And you'll find a way through.
Yep. And look for the open door, because the open doors are the trines. Because when I look at astrology charts and I see where the open doors are, I'm like, wow, that's exactly what happened. That other opportunity opened up and enabled something to happen that solved the other problem. And it's just like magic. But like I went on a drive. I drove one night, and I checked my chart, and I had all these trines and sextiles. And I decided the moon was in Aries, which made me really bolster, really a lot of energy, because I'm ruled by the moon. And I got myself in a really crazy situation. I almost ran out of gas, and there was, it was like 2 or 3 in the morning, and it was like in Oregon, and it was in the pass, and there was snow blizzard, because I wasn't tired. I was going to get a hotel, but I couldn't sleep. So I thought, I'll just drive. Almost ran out of gas in this blizzard. Like, who's going to come help me at 2 or 3 in the morning? I know. And I looked at my chart again, and I realized at the time I got this bing, turn around, go back. So I turned around and went back. I had enough gas in my tank to get to that gas station behind me, but I didn't have enough gas in my tank to get to the gas station ahead of me. As I saw the sign, I went, holy shit. So I turned around and I got back. I had literally 1.5 miles or 2 miles of gas before I hit that tank. before I got the gas station. And I looked at my chart. I said, there must have been a major square. There must have been. And all I saw were trines and sextiles, which showed that I was okay and that I got out of it and all was fine.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I'm
That's
focusing on
fascinating.
those as well. Yeah, it's interesting.
That is interesting.
Yeah.
It's a good
So I
thing you were paying
travel.
attention.
Yeah. And like I'm traveling right now with Mars squaring my Uranus, but I'm just making sure I don't get it when there's a lunation. But there's nothing I can do. I have to travel. So you
Yeah.
just learn how to move in the moon without the moon activating that
Yeah.
that square.
Well,
So
and I
that's what
think
I do.
again, for people who don't follow their charts like in detail, like you
Mhm.
do, where they don't understand all of that, I think it kind of goes with your instinct.
Yeah.
Because with you were looking to see where the problem was, but there really wasn't a problem because
Mhm.
you followed your
Intuitively.
intuition.
Yep. That's
So
right.
yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So Sun card comes out for Gemini, second house. Oh my gosh, you guys, it's going to be great. Second house, new financially beginnings that liberate you. This tends to be kind of like the Sun card is really honestly, a great card. Great card. Freedom. That's Uranus, the sun trining your Uranus, your Taurus house. Where's your Taurus house? Gemini's Taurus house is the 12th. And the sun, it's cleared karma. It's the reckoning. You've done something. You've broken through. You've healed something. You're ready now for something. Aries is in your 11th house. Nice. And you've broken through some sort of fear of what people think of you. This is a breakthrough energy for Gemini because you've got Mars in your house. So you're really dealing with ego breakthrough of things that stopped you from doing what you really love. Actually, your ego may have thought that you shouldn't do that.
But there you are.
Yep.
All right. So let's move
forward.
on to Cancer and see what's going on with them. With
Yeah.
this big
So
full
this is going to be
moon.
interesting for Cancer because you've got the square to Chiron on the moon. Well, wait a minute. Let me look at the chart again really quick here. Moon is squaring Chiron. It's kind of a wide square because Chiron is at 12. So no, it's a square in your first house. So Cancer are going to have an upset. There's going to be something that's upsetting. I mean, and then you've got the moon is opposing the sun in your second house of relationships. So you're probably going to have an upsetting situation with a relationship, or you're just triggered, or an old issue comes back, or a relationship from the past comes back and talks to you and you just go kaboom. And it just like, the reason you separated flares up again inside your energy field. But like I say, this is a breakthrough. Sun trining Uranus, you're going to get over it. You're going to see why you do this and you're going to get it. And you're not going to, you've got sextiles. You're going to have eases of communication. It's going to come out. You're going to communicate with each other. Juno's involved. This is relationships from the past coming back. And Mars is in your 12th house, which a lot of divine partnerships happen when planets, when you have a major lunation in your 12th house. I've noticed this because 12th house means past life. So your past life relationship, Mars is in your 12th house, your twin flame, your deep, deep soul related, your other half, soul connected relationship will probably come in, you be in communication with that person. Issues that were deep abandonment issues, causing separation mentality. In fact, a really beautiful message to say about this whole entire Cancer full moon is that we're clearing separation consciousness. We're going into unity consciousness because we're going into the heart, because the heart is what brings us into unity consciousness. So we're stepping out of the ego opposition, moon opposition, the ego that pulled us out of heart around this situation, which made us not ready for it, because we have to be in heart space for these new beginnings, because that's what is solid. And we've got these big new beginnings coming that are very, very, very long term. We've got these are in the long haul. This new moon in Capricorn was something for the long haul we're preparing for. This is till age, till elderly. So Cancer are healing this last little bit of codependency around your divine relationship mates, or what's keeping you in karmic cycles with relationships, and breaking free into a heart-centered way of processing, because we've got Mercury in the mix. And Mercury is all about how we process our thinking. It's very much, especially in the sign of Capricorn, it's your thinking that creates your karma, your storytelling. in your mind, what you circulate there. So, and the heart and Cancer is your emotional wounding. So Cancers are so emotionally sensitive, they go boom into their headspace and they create a negative story. Water signs do that. Pisces do it terribly. I have to deal with that with my son a lot, trying to train him not to tell such negative stories about what's going on. So Cancer are going to become aware of their negative processing in relationship that causes separation. They're going to become aware of their separation processing. This is something I teach my clients when they come for me for readings. I try to help people come away from separation mentality in everything, relationships. We're really healing that. We're becoming more empathic. We're entering into more enlightened times. I'm seeing it all around me. I'm seeing people more empathic. People, like, for instance, I read for somebody who has situations in child's custody, and the laws are all like, rah, 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 and it's like blocked the whole situation. And it's like they both people stepped out of that and they just were empathic to each other and they figured it out without the law. Like there's ways to step into heart space and be empathic. So Cancers are going to see where they have been not processing empathically and not creating stability in their lives from making choices from the heart. Does not create stability in your life. Capricorn is the ideas that you think create security, or that's if it's shadow aspect, karmic version. So Cancer are stepping into very heart centered, very grounded into their own selves. Cancers have evolved very much so. They've had so many planets in their seventh house right now. We got the stellium in their seventh house, but also they've had Pluto there. They had Saturn there up to 5 years ago. Saturn went into their seventh house. So it's like Cancer have been rattled around in their relationship house, really rough. So, but now you're there. That Chiron involving squaring it. It's a test. Are you going to get over this trigger? Are you going to go into separation mentality from the trigger? Or are you going to go into union mentality from the trigger? Are you going to accept apologies? Are you going to be kind? Are you going to forgive? This is a forgiving energy, by the way, when the communication comes in for everybody.
It also feels like it could be for, because we also have the seventh house, Capricorn in the seventh house. So there could be a relationship shift where
yes, absolutely,
you're more in your heart and you find that the relationship isn't aligned, or you didn't realize how aligned it was, depending on the situation.
Yes. And then we're looking at, because the seventh house is contracted relationships. So we're looking at signing contracts, by the way, committing to projects. Now, having gotten over your issue, your Chiron insecurity, abandonment issue, where you're a victim, which happens a lot to Cancer. I did it too. Guilty. Did a lot of work on it. So now Cancers are feeling very empowered. This is a powerful thing for Cancers. They have Jupiter. Jupiter is squaring their ascendant, that house, giving them confidence. I think this is a nice one for Cancer. I mean, I do think that because their Aries house is their career, so it's giving them a lot of boost and confidence in their careers. And I want to say they've gotten over themselves, Cancer, and now they're really more in their power. They're feeling very much in a materializing place. But again, communication coming in, rattling your sense of security or rattling your confidence, or re-triggering something to make sure that you're ready for union with this relationship that you're going to have a signed contract with the long haul, marriage, projects, business, anything that you contract, a lawyer relationship. If you're already married, it could be a new relationship coming in that you start a business with, that you feel very confident about doing. You weren't confident, emotionally ready, emotionally mature enough. Moon triggers your emotional level of maturity. How emotionally mature are you? How stable are you emotionally? This is a stabilizing emotional thing. And the more strength, the more stable emotionally you are, the more successful you are. Because in Vedic, they look at your moon. So they look at your moon as to determine where in your life you're going to become more successful later in life and upon maturity. But another translation would mean you've mastered self emotions. You've mastered your emotional life. It's waves, and you've learned how to ride your waves without it upsetting your life.
Which I think is really how to navigate life in general for anyone.
Yeah. Emotional maturity, emotional intelligence.
Yeah.
We could call it.
Right.
So Cancer are stepping into emotional maturity around relationship contracts, which then enables them to be in a powerful position rather than a needy, insecure, desperate position. So they're now on an equal footing with this relationship that they are now going to make contracts with. And it could very well likely be, for a lot of people, their true divine mate coming back from separation. You've healed a wound that caused separation, and you're now able to process in a way that creates union with this person. You've grown up.
So you want to pull a card for them, and we'll move on to
Thank
Leo?
you for reminding. Yes, Cancer. What card do we see for Cancer here? Cancer, right? Cancer, rising sun, moon, or ascendant. Communication. Look at that communication.
Yeah.
And then I get the wall up. So it's like we are seeing surprising truths with Mercury in retrograde and Mars in retrograde. So we're seeing truths from communication from the past, reconciliation, 6 of Cups. There you go. Ace, 9 of Cups. This is romantic reconciliations with your past life relationship. This is pure energy. There's water energy. This is love, compassion, empathic people. And then I get the power card. Cancer, you're in your power. Queen of Swords means the separation with this person enabled you to become more in your power. Absolutely truth. That is what the journey of divine twin flame relationships bring you, is into your power about yourself. You become self-aligned rather than giving your power away to other people. So Cancer stop giving their power away to their significant other contracted relationship.
So this might be a good time to
Rock
share
on, Cancer.
the flower for this particular full moon, because I feel like it relates specifically to what you just shared about Cancer. And since this is a Cancer full moon, it makes sense.
Yeah.
So let's see.
Is that the lilies?
Jasmine.
Ah.
And so this activates self-appreciation. The message is you are beautiful. So jasmine enhances the radiance of the face, the heart, and increases confidence, helping us focus on the inner beauty instead of judging ourselves solely on physical appearance. Wow. So this card, I think, to me, this flower, not just the card itself, but the flower that it represents, it's really reminding us, like you were talking about, Madelaine, to go in and recognize the beauty that we have inside. It's not just about the external appearance or how things look. It's also, how does it feel? Yeah. Where is that sense of beauty coming from? Is it coming from the inner glow of a person, or are you looking at all of these external things that are not, that's great, but they're not, it's not at the heart of it. Yes. So to utilize jasmine going forward with this moon cycle, you can go to the LOTUSWEI website, and there are a couple of flower elixirs that have jasmine in it, which if you want to use it that way, or just look at the flower, take a mental snapshot of it or screenshot it and reflect and ask jasmine, ask the flower, spirit of the flower, to come and support you. I'll be sharing some of the info in the description below too, for anyone who's interested.
Oh, great. I love that card. Is perfect for this Cancer message about self-love, following the internal self, and self-nurturing, loving yourself. Cancer loving themselves. They're going to look beautiful because the full moon in your sign usually you shine well. So that's a perfect card. Ooh, how I get the Empress on it too. Isn't that interesting? It almost is the same message as that card, the Empress. It's self-nurturing.
Validation.
In fact, this is how you build your abundance. The best is by nurturing the self, creating high vibrations in the self, loving of the self. You radiate higher vibrations and you attract more abundance.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
So yay for Cancer.
All right. So Leo.
Fire people, Leo. Okay, so you guys have Aries in your 9th house. So you guys have this Cancer in your 12th house. Interesting. Full moon 12th house can be a little bit hard because it will reveal a callus that you built around your heart that needs to come off. And it's going to be from past life trauma, if you believe in past life. If not, let's say it's deep soul trauma. And it's what makes you put your shell up. So Leos are going to bring down that wall. That's why I saw the 9 of Wands came up. It's that wall, that crab wall that we all have, that we can all do, because we all have Cancer in our chart somewhere. So we all have the propensity to hide behind a wall and not show our vulnerability and not risk the vulnerability. So, and that Chiron there is giving you the strength to allow your vulnerability. This goes for all signs too, by the way. That's another aspect I want to bring out. But you've got Capricorn in your 6th house and 12th house. This is soul body. So soul issues, soul problems. You're coming to reckoning. The Pisces is reckoning your negativity, reckoning your, so, and Cancer there is like, where have you created a callus around your heart? Leo is all heart. Cancer is heart. This is Leo, sun, moon, sun, moon. This is a sun, moon. That's what full moons are. Sun, moon opposition, showing you've calloused because of soul vulnerability. So everyone's removing the callus from their hearts that protected you, the Cancer crab wall. And so it can be a health stuff. Again, Chiron is in your, this moon is squaring Chiron. So watch out for getting sick, Leo. Take extra vitamin C, sleep a lot. Full moon is going to reveal habits, day-to-day things you do that are not good for your health, but also it will possibly open up a new work thing going for you, because the 6th house is day-to-day. Your life may change, but definitely a deep soul processing that opens up abundance for you, because whenever you make these Chiron wounded healing experiences, they elevate you to another level, which is then more abundant, more higher vibration, more or less fear, in other words, more in faith. And so then you're going to experience more abundance. So even though it seems like a 12th house transit does not play out very vividly in your life, it's more of an internal experience that creates a better energy in your field that then enables you to go into the 1st house, because you're going to have a lunation in your 1st house after that, which then prepares you to take action. So this is an inward, very inward experience for Leo. They're very, very much coming into a connected area with where they are not heart, where they run away from their heart. A lot of times when I do card reads, I have a heart spot in the card read, and people run away, the card's going away from their heart spot. They don't want to feel it. And so when that's what sometimes we do for addictions that causes health problems. That's soul body. You run away from a pain. And then how you do it is you escape through something that's not good for you, like sugar, like I do. I don't do it anymore. So I don't do it anymore. Cancer is emotional. They want food healing, food sense. So it's like 6th house. You got to watch out what you do when you're triggered to your health. And so you're going to overcome this. You're going to become healthier. You become, oh, by the way, when I worked through that moon thing, when it was triggering me to eat sugar and go crazy and drink a little alcohol, I don't drink alcohol, but sometimes I like to have a little bit, and it just kills me. It gives me the worst headache, because it always happens when the moon is coming into Chiron, where I'm a little triggered and I want to escape. So this time I didn't do it. I said, nope. I was literally pacing the kitchen, not eating sugar, looking for a dessert. Like, I just want to eat some sugar. And I didn't do it. And the next day I could feel a little bit of a throb, like I could feel the pressure, but I had so much energy. I experienced the other side of that transit, which is, if you don't do it, you become I got so much done. I had so much health and so much energy. I couldn't believe it. The things I got done that day was like that long of a list. So it was really good. So my point being, get through this, Leo, break the habit that your soul, this is going to come up. It's going to come up. I'm telling you, I can tell you from experience, these come up. Gosh darn it. These 12th house square Chiron things. So watch your headaches, watch your illnesses, watch your issues, watch your allergies, watch your issues that cause illness, and tune in to the emotional upset that's behind it. And then you're going to heal it, and then you can quit. But this also then gives you this rejuvenation and excitement and energy towards something that's going to be great. But also don't forget, this is the house of spiritual practices. So you may discover a spiritual practice that heals you. That's something you want to do on a regular basis. But it also is a work project, could come up and could happen. And you've got the energy and the inspiration, and you've healed the issue, whatever was around it that was blocking for you. So Leo, let's pull a card for Leo. Sun, moon, rising, Leo, people. Justice. Isn't that interesting? I'm getting major arcana. Yeah. So you're balancing out soul body problems. Processing. Remember, Mars, where's Mars for Leo? Mars, Gemini in your 11th house. third house Libra, mental processing, what you're saying to yourself about your issues, inner dialogue, better inner dialogue, loving inner dialogue. We want to start talking to the what is our inner dialogue too with this retrograde and Mars? What is our inner dialogue that's offensive to us, that's non-loving, that's non-heart? Very much for Leo, okay?
Totally get it. I'm just fingers crossed with the health stuff when traveling.
Yeah, well, you know what? I'm telling you, that is good that you know it, because traveling can make you sick. There's a lot of viruses. So pump up on your vitamin C.
Yeah.
Well, all you know what to do, but get a lot of vitamin D before you go. That's what I've been doing. I've been doing tons of vitamin D. Okay. So we're going to pull a card for Leo. Because you can, once you know that these come up, you can really, you can really help prevent the repeat cycles that occur.
Yeah.
So now we're getting this. Now Cancer, this is a very psychic energy. This is a water energy. So we're looking at Leo, or we're on Leo. So why am I getting this Cancer sign over your 12th house? Interesting. Interesting. So really that 12th house is this is the Pisces card. So the 12th house is Pisces. So this is the higher dimensional house. So you really are being called to go very deep and meditative and connect with your psychic feminine, your intuitive self. Cancer, she is the high priestess. She is a high priestess. So you are going to go very intuitive, internal, very strong, and get very big downloads too, and ideas, because the sun opposing these ideas that your ego thought was the right way to go with your work. And you're going to get more heart-centered downloads that are directing you around something in that Capricorn house with that Sun and Mercury, or communication around that lets you have clarity where your soul wants you to take it. Like your soul's you're going to get soul clarity.
Which is really the truth.
Oh, is it? Oh, good.
The soul,
High
soul
priest.
clarity.
Oh, good. Yeah. Excellent.
I mean, that's the truth. I mean, that's
the sun is opposing it. So the sun and Mercury is your thinking and an ego that goes against your soul song, your soul song.
Yeah.
12th house is the soul.
All right. Virgo.
Virgo people have Capricorn, you have in your relationship, and that's friendships turning into relationships, full moon there, Mercury there, communication from relationships. You're obviously clearing karma around relationships. So friendship from the past, a lover from the past coming in. You have Gemini, your 10th house, commitment. We're looking at long-term Mars, in your 10th house, long-term committed situations, Cancer in your 11th house. So a friend from the past that you met through social media, you may come through social media, but also you're going to discover a group of friends that are more in your heart space. And it's very good chance that your divine mate or your true person is in amongst this group of people. But you're going to discover a whole new group of friends that are much more heart-centered for you. This is the friendship houses, and fifth house is relationship, and Cancer, the 11th house. So it's kind of like communication, marriage. Look, this is communication, commitment. Communication coming in from a past relationship, and it is showing me that Tauran energy, that Hierophant is Taurus, and we are looking at the 9th house, which can be later in life mate, but also we've got Uranus there trining the sun in your 5th house of relationships. Sudden surprising communication from somebody from your past that is your true divine mate, and you may get pregnant too. Don't forget 5th house. I'm just going to put that out there always. If you know, that is powerful. But Cancer in your 11th house, fantastic, lucky. You could get lucky with some kind of win or gain. You could win a competition. You could suddenly, an effort that you put into something before now comes back, and you actually have a win or a gain or a lucky thing happen through somebody, could be internet. You could suddenly, your social media site goes, woo, it goes up. You start become clear about how you want to be on social media. You want to be more from the heart space. You're being more connected to people that are genuinely heart-minded in the area of your interest that you're expressing on social media. You could meet your whole new tribe of friends that are your true heart, true family, Cancer's family. And Capricorn being on your 5th house, you've cleared your karma around friendships and relationships that are not for your highest good, that are, shall we say, just wanting to be popular or look good or superficial, or the fifth house is pleasing and pleasures. So you may have been based in just pleasures or something, or trying to please people, or, it's the Fool card comes out for Virgo. So that's like this brand new beginning. So the Fool card is, so if I put that in Virgo, this is a Uranian energy. This is a surprising new, brand new beginnings that you're not aware of, popping out of the blue, coming in. Contact from somebody from social media, possibly your divine mate, new beginnings coming in, new creative projects that you're going to do on social media or that you express. You could suddenly become very well known. And full moon in Cancer in your 11th house, you suddenly become known.
It also feels like a heart-centered project could re-emerge or reveal itself as well.
Absolutely. A creative, because the fifth house is creative projects. Yes. Pull a card for Virgo. Did we pull a card for Virgo?
You have the Fool.
And the Wheel of Fortune. Faded.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. So don't forget the nodes are in Taurus here too. I don't think the nodes are aspected in this thing. We're not really getting any nodal. Do I even have the nodes in here? Let me just do something. I haven't even looked at the nodes. What is happening with the nodes? Nothing really happening with the nodes, but the nodes are in Taurus. The North Node is in Taurus. So, but the Wheel of Fortune usually indicates nodes being triggered, but the moon is the nodes. The moon is fate. The moon. So this is a brand new beginning for Virgo in a creative project that's going to last the long haul, that is with karma. You've cleared karma around these relationship houses, friends group, and personal friendships and social media. So it's like you're more authentic, you're more real. Cancers are authentic usually. They're kind of real. They're very heart connected. They're connected to their truths. So it's like your true friends, and like you say, a creative project that you're going to do online. And you also could win. You could win some kind of a prize or something, because the fifth house is gambling. So maybe you could buy a lottery ticket. You could win, you might want to. If your planets look good in that, whatever planets you have in your 5th and 11th houses, if they're being positively aspected, I would consider buying a lottery ticket. But some kind of a risky venture that you might have taken before that didn't work out, you were insecure about, you didn't have confidence on, full moon Cancer in 11th house, you have confidence to be your true self, you're confident on social media. Okay. All
right.
Libra, you guys have Capricorn in your 4th house. So you're clearing karma around family, that whole bottom of the chart thing, not being stable. You've made too many decisions that were ego-based, head-based. Libra, very head-based. When I do readings for Libra, boy, are they heart runners. Every time I can almost tell that someone's ascendant Libra by the read I get, because they like to be in their headspace, but they like things stable. They don't like emotional upset because it stops their ability to be in their headspace and focus. If the boat is rocky all over, it's like, no, so they do whatever they can to calm the emotional situation down. They don't care what they got to say to do it. They'll say it. But what Libra they have karma around that, because the 4th house is your emotional. So they're learning to not be karmic around trying to manipulate and control, because Capricorn is also where we try to control things. So they're trying to control their family situation so it's not emotionally upsetting for them. Now, they're going to change that. They're going to have a flip here. They're going to realize, they're going to learn that what creates emotional stability is, one, being in the family that's your heart base, that's true and real, and you really love them, because then you can get over anything. You can work through things. You can talk through things. The emotional situation can be balanced through communication, processing, Mercury retrograde. So Libra are going to stop running. They're going to stop, and they're going to talk, and they're going to create emotional stability, not through karma patterns, which is controlling, but through communication.
I can feel the Librans listening, cringing at the very thought of what you're sharing. Like, no, no, don't make me do that.
I know. Yeah, you can't run, guys. You can't run. You can hide, but you can't run. It's going to catch you eventually. So this full moon is going to catch you. 10 of Cups there. Look at that. That's the Cancer fourth house, if there was one. And this is the 5 of Cups. So this is spilt cups that didn't, not the right cups. So you know now you're going to have this aha, because you've got Cancer in your MC, which is the top of your chart, Libra. So you've most likely it's on your MC, this lunation, revealing the instability. The reason your life has been unstable is that you've made karmic family choices. You've tried to create family stability, not through heart, but through ego, through head, which is what I teach so much. I'm teaching this to my son. Make the decision, make the movement from what feels intuitively heart aligned. This is what this full moon is all about.
Yeah.
Revealing what is the heart aligned family for you. And then you've got that Mercury in retrograde. You're ruled, well, your 7th house is ruled by Mars, which is ruling your 7th house, and it's in Mercury and in retrograde. So it's a good chance you are going to go talk to somebody, or someone's going to talk to you, but Libras most likely are the ones, they tend to be the runners. No disrespect to Libras. I love them.
Yes.
But I understand it. So I try to help them with that. So Libra are going to align now with their heart-centered career, 10th house Cancer. It's going to reveal what that is. And it's also going to reveal what stability, what is going to be stable, what is the right family, what can you invest in, what is no longer karmic, what will work. And it's going to be heart-based. And it's no longer karmic choices, which is ego-based. Sun is going to be in that house, trining Uranus, surprising realizations of who your true person, love, family is. Where do we put Taurus for? That's 8th house for Libra. I think Taurus is the 8th house, and this is a sexual relationship, and it is most likely divine, because Cancer is going to be real heart. Taurus in your 8th house, sexual, it's a sex house, it's finances. You could suddenly become very wealthy. Your divine mate may have wealth, outside money. 8th house is other people's money, your partner's resources. You could come into a windfall.
So there's some, so there, so basically if Libra can just lean into their discomfort around having these conversations and really allow
Vulnerability.
the vulnerability to
Bring the
open
wall
their
down.
heart a bit more, let go of control and the mind.
And
That's
speak
gonna be
from the
their
heart.
ticket.
Yep, speak from the heart. Mercury retrograde, Mars retrograde, those are inner energies, internal truths, internal reality, internal. And
Yeah.
Cancer is an internal energy. It's very heart. It has a wall up. So we're looking at peeking through that wall and coming out of that wall and letting the heart out.
Yeah.
And Libra have had their hearts in a little box hidden. So now they're going to let their hearts out. They're going to feel safe. They're going to feel safe because they're going to know now what makes their heart safe is through communication. It is because emotions can be managed. Emotions don't have to be out of control and ruin everything.
Right.
That's just
Yeah.
the Libra fear. It's not true. You can talk about it and it's fine.
And it's
And emotions
okay.
come and go. You know, the wave will just pass on. You just got to get over that wave. So Libras are becoming more able to handle, let people in their heart space, because they know now they can handle the emotional up and downs of that, because they've learned to communicate and
Well,
connect.
Scorpio is a tough one for the heart too. So let's see how it goes. With
Yeah,
that
let me pull a
Venus.
Libra card really quick. Oh, I get my secret union card. And isn't that interesting? I also get the strength card, which is the mind. You see, we get that.
Yeah.
So they're learning how to unify, how to be mentally in union with their family. This is again union consciousness, love consciousness, empathic consciousness, conscious of who is the person you love, that you want to have a family with, you want to develop, but it's from the heart. So that is Libra.
From the heart.
This is the whole read is like heart. The whole report is from the heart.
Yes. You kind of had a feeling, you knew that was going to be the case.
I guess yes. Scorpio. Okay. Scorpio guys, you've been through so much with these eclipses. I think there's another one, coming up for you guys at 15, 16 degrees, I think May or April. May. And you're preparing now for the resolve of this that you've all been going through, Scorpio, Taurans.
Thank goodness.
Yes. And you've got Gemini. So you have Mars in your 6th house, Cancer in your 7th. Wait. Scorpio. No, you don't. Taurus is in your 7th house. Cancer is in your 9th house, which means Capricorn is in your 3rd house, and Scorpio have been learning how to communicate without being manipulating, without trying to control the situation through communication. So now they're going to, Cancer is in your 9th house. So they're going to have a belief shift, because Cancer in their 9th house, they possibly will become teachers and start teaching, because the 9th house is teaching, higher education, knowledge, the law. They may decide to travel or teach or take a course, but the Capricorn in their 3rd house has been very, I just want to look at Aries as their 6th house. You want to watch out for getting sick too, because you've got Aries in your 6th house. But Capricorn in the 3rd house, they learn now how to communicate from the truth, honest, and be okay with the results. Let people make their choice from come or go. You don't have to try to control the situation through your communication, but you start communicating the truth from your heart, opposing belief, 9th house, heart, sun, in your 3rd house, sun and moon in your 3rd house. So there might be an argument, there might be a clash, but you wake up and you have a whole new belief around your communications. And you almost, because now you're not communicating from a place of control, you discover this whole new way of communicating where you can expand your consciousness. You can expand through the communication. You're now no longer communicating to control the situation. You're communicating to learn more and to become a discovery more about these things, about the psyche, or about you're having a transformation, because Scorpio's always having transformations. So they're having some sort of transformation around beliefs and communication and speaking the truth. And they almost, or maybe could come start teaching, because they've learned how to communicate from a place of confidence. They've broken through karma around communication. And now they're going to have open-minded, you're going to open your mind. Whenever you have full moons in your 9th house, you have a whole new mindset. Your mind opens up about something really important that's important for you. And you have Sagittarius, Scorpio. I'm sorry, but you guys have Wait, what do you have over you have Cancer over your 9th house. So you do have a blocked mind about something that protects your vulnerable heart. So there is a source of this communication that's protecting, that's a wall, because the moon is going to trigger your secret, your hidden, that's going to come to light, that triggers you. But now you've revealed your fear of being vulnerable in your communication, and now you can communicate through vulnerability as well. So you bring down that wall. It's a wall bringing down, heart opening up, full moon. And
wall
then
down, heart open.
Yeah. And then a new belief around that, because you now open your mind, and you can open your heart when you open your mind, because your mind opening knows that you can set a boundary to protect your heart. You don't have to put a wall up. So you're learning to set boundaries. Yes, thank you. That's the word I was looking for. That's the word I was looking for. Scorpio have learned to, instead of control the situation, you set a boundary. Instead of blocking your heart, hiding your heart, you open your heart, but you have healthy boundaries. So that's the transformation. And then there's this new belief that they can express themselves. They can open their heart. They can come out. They can communicate. They can talk. They open up. They come out. And
instead
then they
hiding away,
instead of protecting themselves. With that Cancer, the Cancer is that wall where you go and hide, come out, and be okay to be vulnerable. Reveal your heart.
Yeah. It's a tough one for Scorpios.
Yeah. They're very deep emotional people with a lot of complexity, a lot going on. That's why I always I love my Scorpio students. They pick stuff up super fast in this stuff that I teach. They're good at divination. It's natural for them. And they're also very psychically connected. They, again, all of us create our struggles through our headspace. So, this is a big lunation for headspace Scorpio, because it's happening in their mental houses, third and Gemini house, and the Sagittarius house, which is the rigid thinking, and Gemini is learning, communication. So we're opening up to these new ideas, new philosophies, new ways of seeing the world, more exploratory, because Scorpios are detectives. They like to explore things. They like to go dig deep. So this Cancer over your ninth house, you might start digging deep into the occultism and into spiritualism and into, you might get very obsessive about it. Scorpios get really into things. They like to go down the wormhole.
Did you do cards for Scorpio?
No, let's do one. Thanks for reminding me. Scorpio, what do we get? What do we get for Scorpio? Scorpio, full moon Cancer. Scorpio, full moon Cancer. I get the Ace of Wands and the Wheel of Fortune and the Queen of Wands. So,
oh, interesting.
Yeah, this is new. This is inspiring. This is that Aries energy. Scorpio. Well, Scorpio is ruled by Mars, so this is a fiery energy. So you might get reignited, re-inspired. Ninth house, re-inspired around your fate, around what this is a fire sign feminine, could be ruled Scorpio, could be Mars ruled fire sign, but this is being inspired about a fated something that's truly destined, that really inspires you. So you're aligning with something in your third house. You could start a small business, but somehow you're aligning with your inspired fate, with something that reignites. Scorpio, let me look at that again. Why would I get that? That Leo, Cancer, Leo. The ninth house is a Sagittarius house. It's the fire house. So you're getting inspired about something that's truly in your heart. It's inspiring you. See, cards do great. Cards do it better than I do. So you're becoming reignited and re-inspired about something that you believe, and it can involve spiritualism, higher consciousness, raising the vibrations of the planet. Strength card. There you go. Belief, mind, your internal dialogue. Again, that's the Mercury Sun conjoining in your third house, teaching you that your internal dialogue is causing you your problems. And then you have this
for all of us.
It is. Yes. And
We're
I
all
think for
struggling with that.
Scorpio, it's really strong because this throws their emotional world so tipsy-turvy. That's why divination is like Sam Jeppe, he teaches Scorpio. He thinks Scorpio need to do tarot and astrology because they have so many complex emotions that this is a good way to manage it. Doing this, things that helps you stabilize. And Scorpio are here to learn how to stabilize their deep emotional thing, because it's important that they have it. It's there because it makes them very intuitive, very knowing, very highly connected. But at the same time, you want to be able to access that without it throwing. So you got to heal that, because that deep water has deep stuff in there that triggers. Yeah. So anyway, not to get too into it, but so Scorpio are the big new adventures opening up for them now that they've broken through their fears of their emotional truth.
Right. Well, talking about for everyone with any deep emotional truth that's going to be revealed to them, whether it's this moon, another moon, or over the course of time, it's this, it can sometimes feel challenging, but yet there's a sense of also a sense of peace or contentment around it too, because it's the truth. Yeah. So it's like, I don't know how I'm going to do this, or I don't know how this is going to happen, but you just know and feel and sense that is your truth.
Yes. And don't forget, we've got the sun trining Uranus in your seventh house, which is really nice news and business. Seventh house can be business, contracts. Mm-hmm. So good things happening despite your negative thinking, or despite your storytelling, or and this is going to be something that's inspiring from your heart space, because the moon is sextiling it, or is it trining it? The moon is opposing the sun, sextiling Uranus. The sun is trining Uranus. So very good news coming in around business and work operations, very possibly work communication coming in that is really inspiring, new work that brings you good money. This could be very auspicious for Scorpio.
Love it. Okay.
Yeah. Okay, Saggies. Sagittarius have Scorpio in their 12th house. They have Capricorn in their second house. Yay for Sagittarius. You've got a stellium of planets right now in your second house. Financial new beginnings. But now we've got the moon opposing your second house in your 8th house, revealing emotional reasons to why you get into financial problems, the emotional out of balance. But then this is also a lunation involving other people's finances, your partnership's finances. So you could be, Cancer is over your 8th house. Wait, I'm sorry. Yeah, Cancer is over your 8th house. So there is a balance and emotional resolve around finances with other people's finances, your spouses, sort of karma clearing around finances. You will have cleared karma in your finance house. So you might have some sort of a blessing around that new moon. Financial blessings coming in from partnerships, finances. Their partners' finances could really go up. Also, they have a new beginning. They've got Capricorn, they have the sun and Mercury. So project from the past, a way of earning money from the past can come back. That really does work out. Communication comes in from the past, a way of making money that possibly eliminates a debt. When the sun is in the 8th house, it can eliminate or illuminate a way out of that debt. Also illuminates your ego, fear-based issues that put you into the debt. Also, someone could pass, your mother could pass. Full moon Cancer in the 8th house. I've been doing this now long enough to see people lose people in 8th house lunations. But usually if that's the case, you already know they're on their way out. Is not a big surprise. It's inevitable kind of an idea. And death and rebirth is the 8th house. You could get a inheritance as a result of that, because there's always this relationship between, and now you're also waking up because you've got Capricorn in your second house. You've got a lot of opportunities coming in. Finances are really up and coming for Sagittarius. Fantastic. But you're also cleared karma there. So this is good way of earning money that is heart-centered, that will last, that is built on, not on sand, built on your heart. You got Cancer, Sagittarius, Cancer in your 8th house. So now there's some sort of also this could be a relationship coming in. You could have sex, a lot of deep connected romance. You have Gemini, you have Mars in your 7th house of relationships. So there's a good chance a relationship from the past you're going to communicate with, you're going to reconnect with, that is heart-based, true. Let's pull a card for you guys. A full moon in your 8th house also reveals your issues because it's squaring Chiron. The moon is squaring Chiron. So it's gonna, ooh, look at this. I get the death card. And then I get the reconciliation card. So a situation that seemed completely over. This is also the second house, can be a relationship house because it is a Venus. It is the house of Taurus, which is Venus. So it looks like for Capricorn, they've really cleared some karmic issues around their finances, which is also blocking them in relationship. This is relationship, other people's money, your money, clearing out karma in money and relationships, now opening up for the heart true based relationship that is stable, that is secure, heart based, not money based. You're now taking a heart based relationship. So death card is transformational. This is the 8th house. Full moon is a death card, which is transformational, death and rebirth around finances and possible partnerships. So nice. But again, we're going to trigger, because you got Cancer, you got Aries in your 4th house. So Chiron is there triggering your fears or issues around family, and the moon in Cancer in your 8th house triggering. So some kind of an issue can come up around family and money, triggering abandonment issues. I'm sorry, Cancer is, I'm sorry, I did it all wrong. Capricorn. Who am I on? I'm on.
You're doing Sag?
Yes, thank you.
Sag.
Okay,
so,
good.
And I think you were on point.
Yeah.
You were on point because you were talking about the second house, which is where Capricorn is, when it comes to some of the financial
That's great for
aspects.
Sagittarians. This is a really, and I do get the world card. So you've cleared karma. The world card indicates, then I get that water sign masculine card shows up. So you're going to be more in your heart center. Capricorns are very tough people. They get very in their heads. They work hard, and it's good. We need people like that. They don't get distracted. They get it done. They stay focused. They're the workhorse.
Wait, are you okay? So are you talking Capricorn or Sag?
Sagittarius, but Capricorn in their second house. So
yes. Okay.
That's what I mean.
Okay.
So Sagittarians are clearing that karma where they just work hard and have relationships based on financial security and jobs that are financially security based rather than heart based.
Okay.
And so it's also a relationship because it opens you up to not choosing romantic relationships that are based on creating security for yourself or recognition, because Capricorn can also be where you like to be recognized, you know. Yeah. So shifting into heart space. Perfect. Death and rebirth. Yes.
All right. So now we can talk about Capricorn.
Okay. Now we go to Capricorn.
We'll see what's going on with them.
I'm hopping back and forth. So Capricorn, you guys have all these planets in your first house. Oh my gosh. You might get sick too, because Capricorns I know that are sick right now because they have Chiron, the moon. Well, during this thing, you're going to have moon in your seventh house of relationships, squaring Aries in your fourth house. So you might be at home sick a little bit, but just watch out. But this is revealing your ego, your issues, because you've got the sun and Mercury in your first house on your ascendant, your sun, or your moon, revealing how unheart-centered, how controlling you are around matters of relationships and how you manipulate. And then you have a wall up in your heart space around relationships. So communication is going to come in that's going to allow you to be vulnerable and open your heart up to a true love relationship or a true situation or work partnerships or collaborations that are really heart-centered and true heart-based. You're going to let your vulnerability out. You're going to reveal that you're not perfect. Capricorn's hard for them to do. Yeah. And fix a situation in a relationship that then allows you to go forward in a collaborative venture with your divine mate, true hearted mate, because it's got to last a long time. So it's got to be based in love. So Aries is in your fourth house. So you've got wounding situations triggering around Cancer, and Capricorn is your seventh house. So you're going to get triggered in relationships because you've got the moon in your seventh house, squaring Chiron in your fourth. So there's a good chance there's a relationship or family crisis or forced situation that gets forced and move. You're forced to move. But whatever situation gets forced, it's pulling you into a more truly heart-centered place to live, heart-centered relationship. Whenever you have these lunations in a cardinal sign, it really represents all four areas of your life shifting, like your living, your work, your identity, and your home. Your relationship, your work, your home, and your identity. Like on some level, it's going to take a pivot.
Yeah.
So let's pull a card for Capricorn. I have a lot of planets in Capricorn. I have 3 planets in Capricorn. So I have Capricorn over my 7th house. So it's going to be a shifting situation for me, big time. Lovers. So look, we get the Devil card, we get the Lovers card. So Capricorn, this is the Capricorn card, actually. This represents Capricorn. This represents Gemini. We have Mars and Gemini in retrograde. Lover from the past. That is your true person. So you look at the difference between these two cards. So this is a karmic relationship where you have rules and regulations and you're bound by ego or materialistic or security or deals. There's always lots of deals, like you do this and I do that, and you don't do that. If you do that, I'll do that. If you don't do that, then I'm not doing that. That's these kind of karmic relationships where there are all these rules, like you're not allowed to go on social media so our relationship can stay okay. I've seen, it's like all those kinds of, that's karma. This relationship is held together by a force that you cannot control. That's what I tell people when I do readings, like that's not my divine mate. I go, well, That's possible, but if it is your divine mate, you can't control it. This is divinely intended, and it's going to happen whether you like it or not. You're going to end up back with that person. But this is held together by an unseen force. Your souls hold. This is no material. This is no material rules or regulation or bondage. It's all held by the ethereal realm, which is the divine reigniting situation. So, and then this falls upside down. So we're leaving Capricorn, are leaving their karmic situations. Which they do a lot, because that is the sign of Capricorn. When you're born here with Capricorn, you were born to have a Pluto conjoining one of your planets in this life, which was going to give you a total and utter death and rebirth experience. You will be a whole new person after Pluto leaves your first house. You will literally you will be a reborn version of you, a whole new reborn. And I'm seeing that with the Capricorns in my life, and it's fantastic. You came for that. It was hard and hard work, and it sucked, but you're going to love the diamond that you become after that. So the Capricorns are now going to become the diamond in their relationship. They're going to have that beautiful thing happen.
Is that for Capricorns of all generations or of specific ones?
I would say all. I think if you come with Capricorn in your chart, you came for a death and rebirth this life. For a total soul transformative experience. Your soul, like I have Venus, Mars, and Mercury all in Capricorn, and I have my Saturn in Aquarius, and then I have my moon in Pisces, and I have so many planets. I came here, Pluto at the bottom. I have my sun in Sagittarius, and when I was born, Pluto was in Virgo. So all my planets are getting a Pluto hit, all of them. My sun, my moon, my Mercury, my Venus, my Saturn. It's insane while I'm alive. Wow. Like every single one of my planets is going to get a Pluto conjunction. So I came here to have a total death and rebirth experience and transform. And I feel that. So, yeah. So did we pull a card for Capricorn? We did. We pulled the, well, we also do get the Sun card. Don't forget, I keep forgetting, there is a breakthrough. There is a trine that breaks you through, that liberates you out of that wall that's been holding up, that's been protecting you. You're going to break through it. And then you are in your heart space, and then the right person in the right relationship will reveal itself, because that's what the full moon in your 7th house will show you, your true hearted love or other contracted relationships that are heart aligned.
Perfect.
Clear message. All right. So now Aquarians, you guys are going to have Saturn leaving your sign, and finally leaving your sign, going into the sign of Pisces, into your 2nd house. But things are going to open up for you guys a lot, because Saturn in your 1st house is very oppressive. It's good for you. It works hard. Saturn transits are not bad. They're great. A lot of times people don't like them, but you love what you become afterwards. It's much more solid person, or solid in some way. And, so for Aquarians, you guys have Capricorn in your 12th house. So you're definitely doing some past life reckoning, soul clearing stuff. This is not this life. In my opinion, it's last life. Karma that you brought in to clear specifically in this life, like one nugget, one real soul nugget that needs to be cleared. And it's going to be around spiritualism, because it's in your 12th and 6th house. It's a soul versus body. And Cancer is in your 6th house. So again, you have the potential of being sick. This is kind of similar to the Leo read, just flip it, but pretty much 6th house, nurturing, taking care of yourself, knowing what you need to do, really, really reveal the moon there, an emotional thing, emotional. You may have not, Aquarians tend to be, they're wonderful people. They're warm, they're loving, but they, on the same time, they keep their vulnerabilities a little bit packed up tight. They tend to be a little bit cold. It's a metallic energy kind of. So not cold. It's not, that sounds mean, but they don't let their whole outer world out. They have a protective private world.
Yeah.
So you never fully know an Aquarius. Like, I love them. I have many in my life. I would love them. It's just that in this lunation, I think you're going to see, because you have the 6th house, Cancer. You're going to go emotional. You're going to reveal emotional stuff that's built up that could be causing illness or sickness, but you're going to heal it, because you're going to be aware of an emotional issue in yourself, in your psyche, that's causing you I guess either procrastination, not taking care of yourself, being busy, because sixth house is busy energy. So you're going to be aware of how you've been so busy and not taking care of yourself, not nurturing the self. Aquarians need to take time and slow down because they have Cancer over their sixth house. They need to take a lot of self-nurturing. Now, also, we're going to reveal a potential work opportunity because the sixth house is a work house and you have the sun in your 12th house. So your ego, so this is a work project from the past that your ego and your soul fear trauma would not let you do, blocked you. Now you're going to open up that wall that makes you vulnerable in the world. This is not necessarily a relationship house. This is more about you in a work environment, or you working on a day-to-day level, now becoming more heart-centered and doing something that is more in heart alignment that your soul had a fear against doing. Karma. You wouldn't do it. Like, let's say you're a psychic and it is in, because Cancer over the sixth house is a very healing energy. You could be a very good energetic healer. And Aquarius is about the future, is about the modern. So that a lot of Aquarians could have shamanic healing energy with Cancer over their sixth house. So they have to heal something about themselves. Then they become the healer. So they could be very much transforming other people's energies, healthy, nurturing, waking up to them being healers of some sort. But basically getting out of an ego resistance, and they may have been persecuted in a past life for being a witch or something, but really they're healer, medicine people. So in this life, their fears of coming out and becoming spiritual healer maybe opens up for them and they're not afraid anymore. That sun trining this Uranus in your 12th house, revealing past inner dialogue issues that were scaring you, because this 12th house can be quite scary. It's kind of a issues. It's very, this Pisces, my sun rising sign, they always have a lot of issues. So the 12th house is like some deep issues that are clearing out, enabling you to do what is heartfelt for your health, nurture yourself, take care of yourself, but also heal yourself. You might get into natural medicine around a health issue. You might be revealed that natural medicine is the way through. But also you become more in alignment with a work opportunity or working in ways that are career, because Capricorn can be career, that is more heartfelt. So you may change a job, but that moon opening up there gives you an idea of a career, maybe in the healing arts. That is really inspiring for you. So let's pull a card for Aquarius. Let's see what would be good for Aquarius to know here. I don't pull up the minors. Well, this is nice, though. I will show this. This is knowing what you want to do to earn money. And this is, look, there's that sun card coming out. There's that Uranian trining your 12th house, breaking you free. Look at those abundant cards. Breaking you free, doing something you really want. That's liberating you. Liberation here for Aquarians. That is the sun. This is an Aquarian card, actually. It is liberation. It's the Leo card, but still, it's kind of like a liberating energy that puts you in financial abundance, clearing that some kind of soul deep resistance to something that's in your heart to do.
Yeah, that did feel like a really nice story unfolding in the cards for Aquarians.
Yeah, that was really nice. I'm
jealous. It was a good one.
Yeah, Cancer over your sixth house, full moon. That's a work house. It's a money house. Yeah, it's a Virgo house. It's material. It's an earth house, material house. So it usually represented with pentacles. So that's a blingy. I like to call those glittery reads when all the pentacles come out. I say, yeah, a lot of glitter in your read today.
Hello. Yeah. So what about Pisces? What do they have going on?
Okay, Pisces, you fabulous, lovely Pisces. I love Pisces. So you have Cancer over your fifth house, creative projects,
more
coming up,
pregnancy
or
potential
pregnant.
here.
Yep.
Yeah.
And also creative projects coming up that come from the past that you had not allowed your heart to be vulnerable around, is another way of putting it, that you had an ego barrier around, which would be because you have Capricorn in your 11th house. You might have had issues with people in this tribe group that, in fact, I did a reading for my son. He's Pisces rising. This is the read I did for him where they canceled that thing for him from a tribe group that he knows from the 11th house. And so he was all upset. He spent $80 of his own money to promote and to advertise the show that he was going to do. And then it got canceled and he's all upset. And then he just moved on. And now that's coming back. The card read said it's coming back. And this is in his 5th house. It's a creative project that will now go forward. And it will liberate him because he's got the sun in his Capricorn, the 11th house, communication. So communication from the past, from people in the 11th house, a tribes group, internet tribe group, communication from the past, apologizing. And that was in the card read, that they couldn't, their hands were tied and it wasn't them, it wasn't personal. And that if they could reignite this project, that's exactly what the card said yesterday to my Pisces rising sun music.
So curious, did this just happen for him?
No, it was in the card read yet. It hasn't happened yet.
No,
the canceling happened in May and April. And he said to me, I said something,
Okay.
I didn't know about this project he didn't tell me, but I was doing the reading. And then he goes, wow, you really are good at astrology because you know that this happened in April or May. Because I said end of April, early May. And he goes, how did you know that this happened? And I said, because I know the astrology that this is back, that we're related to that right now with Jupiter, where Jupiter is. And he's like, that made him believe it because I didn't know that this canceled on him at that point.
Right, exactly.
So he's like, wow, that astrology. Wow. It's really obvious. It's because Jupiter was at that degree point and now it's at that degree point again.
How fun to share your magic with your family.
Yeah.
And I think that was a Sag thing too, some family stuff. To share this with your family and for them to be like, wow.
Yeah.
To not just be open, because I know that you share this with your kids often, but for them to go, okay, that's pretty cool that you could see that.
And I'm really teaching them to fish too, because I make them pull their own cards and because they want the reading so bad. I go, I have the power to say, okay, you want a reading. This is what you need to do. And then I make them try to read the cards themselves. Like Mac and Samson, both of my sons, they're starting to give readings to other people. And they really people are like, wow, I really like that reading.
No way.
Yeah. Yeah. And I'm teaching them astrology. And I wish now, if I was to go back, I would homeschool my kids and teach them this stuff more important than all the education stuff.
Yeah.
I would teach them astrology and spiritualism absolutely much more. No doubt.
But you're teaching them now.
That's true. And I'm glad they learned the other stuff too. I would have taught them both, but I would have made an emphasis on this and being connected to the self and being connected to your own internal guidance. Instead of being so externalized and trying to make the teachers happy, you become very fragmented as a person. So I would love to teach. I teach my kids tarot. Yes, I teach them. And so like my son has a question. And so I say, okay, what's your question? And then he'll throw the card down and he'll go, oh, wow, that is exactly what I thought. Like, a card will come down as the response. So I have him focus and meditate on that because I want him to make connection with his own ability to guide himself and soothe himself. That's what this is for, self-soothing and guidance.
Well, and I think it speaks a lot though to your sons, because not every person is going to be open to this. Like you have to have specific stars in order for you to even be
that is true.
Mildly willing to entertain this idea.
Yeah, they both are Cancer and Pisces, which is psychic. However, they were not, they called this pseudo spiritual. They were anti this a long time before they started getting reads. I give them a reading and they couldn't believe it. Like they go, oh, so now they always want readings. And now they don't call it that. Now they're into it. Now they're learning how to do it. But it wasn't like that at the beginning. I had to prove it. I had to prove it to them. So now they're sort of, I've won them over now,
Yeah. Well, I think that's also masculine. The masculine is very much prove it to me. I need to see it. Like show me first. And, but if there is that Pisces, like you said, the Pisces there or Cancer. Yes. Then because I know with my guy, it's a similar thing.
Is he Pisces?
Pisces ascendant. And so
Pisces ascendant are some of the most rigid thinker people on this planet. They are the most rigid thinking because I'll tell you, they have Scorpio over their ninth house. There's something about that placement. All Pisces risings I know, they have these really locked ideas, locked in. They don't budge them at all. And then the cards keep telling them, let that open up that spot, open up, don't be so rigid. Let that that's the work I have to do with my son, and it's working. He's starting to see it.
I've got him with a couple of things where he likes to play poker, And so we were looking at the lunations and different aspects where he was winning, and then when he was losing, and what was going on, like what were the correlations, what were the dynamics, and started to kind of put some pieces together. And that was meaningful to him, because now he's like, hey babe, can you check this date or that date or these dates to go? Because if it's not, then he's like, I just won't go that day.
That is excellent. Yeah. Excellent. This is the kind of astrology I want everyone to learn, especially my kids too. Like, because you become aware of, you're more conscious and more aware of what's going on energetically in your life and what's happening. And it's like, you're driving the energies you can drive. But yes, I think teaching this stuff to people around us is great.
It is. It's awesome. So, okay. So did you
a card
anything else with Pisces?
Pisces. Well, you've got Aries in your second house, fabulous. Jupiter in your second house, finances expanding. And then we have, what do we have in? Hey, Mackie, there's my Pisces kid. Hi, Mackie. You can come and say hi. What? Oh, we're almost done. Okay, so where are we? We've got Capricorn in their 11th house, Cancer in their 5th, new creative project or potential relationship coming in, or pregnancy. 6 of Wands pops out, the Wheel of Fortune. Nice. So we've got that Sun, because the 5th house, the 11th house is lucky gains. Pisces rising could come in they have Uranus trining the Sun in their 11th house, and Taurus is in their 3rd house. Surprising communication that could show you that your victory, that you're winning. Pisces have been through a long struggle. They're going to see that they've been absolutely victorious. This is this windfall coming in for Pisces. A nice windfall coming in. Good luck, communication, world card, something they truly desire. There's that wall coming down. That wall is that shell, that Cancer. So, and there's that wall coming down. So an idea that they had a wall up around my son, rigid thinking that said, no, this coming down, opening up their minds to something that is more heart aligned for them. They're going to relax that rigid thinking. Yeah, go ahead.
Well, so I was just going to kind of piggyback off what you said about the creative project. So whatever this project is likely really truly aligned with their heart.
Yes, that's right. Very inspired, very heart-centered, the truth, the real thing. So
this is not money. This is not based on, okay, I'm going to do this project because I want the lucky gains. I'm going to do this project because of the money, even though it's there.
You're going to, a project from the past that you really love, that's really inspiring, that will make you money because it's something you love.
Okay.
And that's actually why I keep trying to train my sons to stop going after money or trying to make money or trying to be successful. Go after what you truly love, because you'll put in the extra passion, you'll put in the extra effort that attracts you the money. You have the energy for it. It reignites. That's why Cancer is trying to center you. That's what that chart, that wheel, back to the beginning of the reading, you do what's in your heart. It's solid structure for the whole chart. Cancer is all about that heart. Everything has to be based. In fact, if you look at the chakras and you go from, because I think the astrological signs go to a chakra. Aries is the first chakra. 12th chakra is Pisces. So if you go with the heart chakra, it's the 4th house. It's the 4th. It's the heart. And we don't understand the 4th chakra. I think it's the umbilical cord to God, because nobody knows what to say about the 4th dimension or the 4th chakra. It's a sort of a mystery. So in my opinion, it's the center of the 3 chakras. You have head and you have the chakras below. It's the center chakra, which is a cord that links to God or your higher self, which is your intuitive knowing. That's why you'll always be in alignment when you choose from the 4th, from the heart. That's Jesus's message: live and die by the heart, because you will always end up in the right spot, because that is divine will, is through your heart. Divine will, your higher mind will guide you to the better place when you're in your heart space. So for Pisces, and that is when you do what is in your heart, you then have longevity in it, and it will attract you abundance, because you're in the frequency of love. And that is the most attractive abundance. So we're shifting, Pisces are shifting, thank God, because I've been working hard on my son on this, to what is heart guided, rather head and ego guided. With all those planets in the 11th house, it's very ego. We're
And
leaving
that's,
the ego and going to the heart so that we're
yes.
guided to do and to build these new beginnings from the right spot, from the right center. When I had that full moon in Cancer, when I had a full moon in my second house, I had a full moon in Cancer actually too. And then the next lunation was in my second house, is when I first started making money as a tarot card reading, being financially independent on my own without my spouse's income helping me. And I let go completely and trusted this. And it has been wonderful. It's been supporting me incredibly well. So point being is, you do what is in your heart. You're doing what is divinely, shall we say, programmed within your true DNA coding, which will direct you to your higher abundance. So that's kind of what the heart, and we're bringing down the walls around that so we can stop creating karma and allow the heart to come through in your relationships in your 11th house, Pisces, which is connecting with people that are real for you, that you can really set up a future with, a tribe situation or internet or internet project. But that is a win and lucky gain, Pisces. You could absolutely come in with some sort of a win, some sort of a lucky gain, recognition, sudden recognition, because we've got the sun in your 11th house. You could suddenly get incredible amount of notoriety, sudden fame. Could very well happen for Pisces rising. With all that trinings, the Uranus sun trine, and the Mercury in retrograde. Plus we've got Pluto and Venus sextiling Jupiter and Juno. These are good energies. There's a lot of abundance coming through. I think things are going to be really good for a lot of people here.
Well,
Hallelujah.
Yeah. And the other piece of, we're talking about the heart, is like, I see it in a similar way to you too, but it is also like a bridge between the spiritual and the material.
Yes.
The chakras above the heart are very spiritual. The chakras below the heart are very earthbound. So when you're operating from that place, kind of like what you were saying, you're connected to God or source or universe, whatever term you want to use. But that's also you. And you are the one that is that bridge. You are the one that is engaging in this earthly realm through spiritual guidance.
I love that.
Spiritual plan.
Yes.
So if we allow this Cancerian moon to open our hearts a bit more, take down the walls, we're just lining ourselves up for what is what you said. Yeah.
Yes, because you have your top 3 chakras connecting to the higher realms so that you're guided from the higher realms. And then your lower 3 chakras are the actions that you take in the material realm, that ground, and the heart is in the middle, which is divine guidance.
Right.
Beautiful.
Exactly.
Yeah. Well, lovely. This was fun.
This was sweet. I mean, there was so much information. I hope everyone goes back and watches this again, because we did it early, and maybe that was part of the divine guidance.
Yeah,
because
maybe.
It was a rich, very full forecast for people to go back.
Yeah. And it's so connected to the last one we did too. So it's Cancer, Capricorn axis. So the two coming together closely, very much.
Very much. Yeah, very much. So, so please, everyone, share, pop over to both Madelaine's page and mine. Give us some love over there so that we can continue doing these videos for you. And, we have a little extra time to really get in touch with these energies and the messages for us, particularly going into a new year. So, Madelaine and I will see you on the flip side of the year.
If anybody wants to join my workshops, we're starting. You don't have to buy a package, but you can. But we're going to be anyone can come in. It's every Tuesday night. You can come in, get a reading, look at your chart, join the discussions about the current astrology, get your transits. We're doing this every week. So just email me if you're interested.
Awesome. And Madelaine's information will be below, so you can reach out to her. I will be sharing some new goodies in the coming new year, fine-tuning them. So I'm kind of holding it close to my heart for the moment until I work out some of the details, but some fun stuff.
Oh, exciting.
Yes. And I'm sure Madelaine and I will have lots of more goodies for you too. So thank you so much for joining us on our early cosmic chat for the Cancer.
Thanks for watching. Yes, I hope this was helpful for everybody.
Yeah. And we will see you here in, I guess, 3.5 weeks or so.
Yeah.
All right. Thanks, everybody.
Happy New Year.